could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello everyone, today we're meeting Roman Roumiantsev. He is New York City firefighter. He is the father of two, and he is a fitness enthusiast and the believer in the mindset. Hello, Roman. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Anna. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's start our conversation with diving into your story of becoming the person you are today. Share with us what kind of lessons you learned along the way and how did it change your perspective on life?
All right. So I guess I'll start from when I was a teenager. So as a teenager, I grew up in a household where drinking was a norm, and as well as with my friends. So drinking was a big part of my life. And with that becomes an addiction. And so I got addicted to drinking all the time at a very young age. It just became a norm. We celebrate things. When we're happy, we drink. When we're unhappy, we drink. When it's a holiday, we drink. But what happens with that is we lose. It's like I feel like alcohol or any vice is kind of like letting an external spirit into you. It is called spirits, at least alcohol. And you kind of lose control of yourself and your mind. You don't think for yourself, and you're kind of being controlled by an external source. So with that being said, in my 20s, I got married, I became a firefighter, I achieved great things, but I was never happy. I could never celebrate my wins and my achievements in life. When I became a firefighter, it was great. To me, it was, now I have income to support myself and my life. When I had kids, it was great. When I got married, it was great, but I was never like feeling happy. And I believe it's because of the vices. So as I continued to grow and I continued to drink, my drinking got heavier and heavier, to the point where I lost my marriage. I wasn't a good father. I was on the verge of losing my job. And if anybody knows anything about firefighting, it's pretty hard to lose that. So I had a decision to make, and I decided to get some serious help. So I turned my life to rehab for 30 days. And I don't know the exact number, but it's a year and a couple of months I haven't drank or used any substance, which I'm pretty proud of. So that's like my story with my vices and stuff like that. So what I learned from that is we have to take our lives into our own hands. And it's very hard to do that when you have outside sources messing with you. The system is out there, and the system wants you to drink, it wants you to have fun, it wants you to be comfortable, it wants you to live a life of mediocrity, of no meaning. That's why it's a system, and a lot of people do it. And my goal now is to kind of open up the eyes of people and see that everything that you need to be truly happy and to achieve anything you want is literally within you.
Yes. And thank you for sharing your story. And I know a lot of people struggle with the same type of addiction as you did. Sometimes people turn in different, substances to soothe themselves. And usually it's due to, not willing to look into yourself and to face who you are, to accept who you are, what you did, with everything that you've been through, you got to this point right now. And now with you realizing that it's in your control, first you take ownership of that life, and then you know that you are the one who can change it. So a lot of people still not at the place where they can, have peace within themselves and accepting who they are. And also, like you mentioned, we live in a society where we hear, a lot of noise around us, right? We can't filter what is being said, if it's even true. And we're just taking as it is and not realizing how it can affect our life, in terms of, people trying different stuff just to kind of like to escape this reality with distraction in terms of like alcohol or any type of other substance, or just social media. Even that is a distraction, right? So if you ask a person, why are you doing what you're doing right now? Why are you at this work? Why are you, just kind of like in the cycle of everyday activities without realizing why you're doing that? And a lot of people don't know why. And again, like it takes time to kind of like stop and ask yourself a question. Am I really happy right now? Am I satisfied? How am I feeling? And to name those feelings and to let yourself get through those emotions, to let yourself kind of realize, why is that? Like, what is the reason for you feeling this way? And again, like seek help, because also another thing is people take it as a weakness to ask for help. And a lot of times it's too late, when we normalize that, a lot of people going through the same type of issues, and we all know what that is. And, we want you to become healthy. And with knowing that, there are like a lot of tools and practitioners available that could help you and to guide you through that process of becoming clean. And knowing that, like still nowadays I feel like it's not really that out of the open. There's still some kind of stigma around it, and people getting shut down, and at the point like when it becomes unhealthy, and sometimes like they end up in a hospital. So I really, I like that you shared your story and how you overcame that, because I think it's showing how strong you are, because it takes courage really to make that shift, to make that decision. And everybody's decision away from a different life, if you think about it. Again, like, and now with what we have in, at our disposal, we have all the tools available for us to succeed, but we don't see it because, again, we kind of lost in that noise. We're not focused on what matters. What do you think would be the good habits to start with in terms of kind of like finding your true passion in life? If people feel stuck, unsatisfied at their careers, what they do in life, what could kind of help them to navigate into the direction that they should go?
So what I think is, with all the distractions out there, like we say, with the vices and the social media and the everything else that people are doing pointlessly throughout their day for hours and hours. I mean, the average screen time of somebody on their phone is like 8 hours a day, which is insane. And then if you ask them, do you have a little bit of time for yourself to better yourself? They say, no, I'm too busy. So it's really all a mind thing. So, and to be honest, to answer the question about purpose, if somebody's walking around with no purpose, I believe it's more of it's a lack of sacrifice that somebody's making in life. They're too comfortable, to be honest. They're really just going day by day without a daily action plan, and they're waking up at whenever they want. They do as they feel, and if they don't feel, they don't do. They're ran by emotions. What I learned myself is that I have to have structure. I have to have a daily morning routine. This way, by the time it's 9 a.m., I've already stacked multiple wins for my day. I've already prepared myself for anything else that's going to come my way. I'm already vibing at such a high vibration that no matter what happens, I will be on purpose and I will be able to overcome whatever comes my way, which if it's children or work, stress, I co-parent now. Anything that comes my way, business. I feel like a structured plan for every person is the best way to achieve a person's happiness, to be honest. Because waking up at random times and just living life in the unknown and just waking up day to day, month by month, you'll end up in the same place in a year.
Right. We need to make those changes, and with that support and structure, when you set, the schedule for yourself, you already know how your day is gonna go. You already set yourself for success and any type of turbulence on the way, right? So we should be, disciplining ourselves to have that type of habits instilled in everyday life. Because for some reason, people getting scared of hearing discipline, like it's something harsh, or, they kind of restrict themselves in some kind of way. But it's the wrong way to look at it. I'm looking more of a supporting structure for my life. And again, like, why not do it ahead of time to ease yourself, for the rest of the day? So you're kind of helping yourself in a way. It's not something to be scared of, but the opposite, like you have to be the leader of your life, right? So you're the one deciding what to do, when to do it, and how your day should go, and what to expect in return. So it's just, again, like with people realizing how helpful it is to have that scheduling done and known, all those habits usually takes first month to kick in, right? Like you have to be consistent with doing things every single day. You have to be committed doing them. Again, like without your decision, nothing will happen. And with you just talking about it, nothing will happen. It has to be action, after your decision. And the key is also consistency. A lot of people give up, early in the game because they don't realize that it's a long-term effect that we're looking for. It's like a compound effect of all of those choices that you make. Right now, you could be a different person from a year from today, totally, right? In a different place. But without you kind of underestimating that what could be done in a year, you are robbing yourself of the choice of this new life that you can make, right? So I think it's important to also tell people that in this present moment, that's where the power is, and that's where they can make that choice for themselves and start living a different lifestyle. And again, like as a habit, it takes first month, but then it becomes just the, who you are. This is what you do. And it's kind of like on automatic pilot, like everything. We don't realize that we live in our habits right now. Whatever you're doing right now, it's all based on the habits that you develop over time, right? But does that habit really beneficial for you, or it's ruining your life? So you have to realize and switch that habit to something positive. So I feel like there are a lot of advice that you can share in terms of also moving your body and fitness, because this is part of our daily life, right? We need to be thinking about physical and mental health and their body-mind connection. So what are your thoughts on having that exercise routine as a daily habit as well?
So I feel like bodybuilding is it's the beginning of self-love and like self-respect, to be honest. Not exactly bodybuilding, I'm sorry. Fitness, physical fitness would be, because what physical fitness taught me, let's not use the scary word of discipline. It taught me positive habits. It taught me courage. It taught me that, and we'll talk about, let's talk about also everybody's um everybody's always looking for the outcome and the end result, right?
Mhm.
What fitness is going to teach people is that to be present in the current moment, to enjoy the current moment and the feeling you're going to have at the gym. Because I feel like the gym is the happiest place in the world. It's like the only place where people say hello to each other. They smile at each other. They'll hold the door for some random person, and that doesn't happen anywhere else. So, like, besides like how you're gonna, if you go to the gym, like, if I tell people, like, if you really want to like change something in your life, go to the gym every single day for 30 days and watch how you feel and how you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, like without a plan, no plan. When I was in rehab, the first thing that I told myself is they had a gym there. And I was like, you know what? Everybody has to wake up at 8. I'm going to wake up at 6 and I'm going to go to the gym. And then I'll meet everybody at 8. And I did that the entire 30 days. There was maybe 3 people out of like 500 people that were there that did that. And I was proud of myself. I didn't need nobody else to tell me, oh, Roman, you're doing a good job. I was like, listen, I finished rehab. I didn't drink for 30 days, obviously. And I went to the gym for 30 days.
Mhm.
Like, and I kept a promise to myself, which is also a lot of people don't do. They don't keep their promises to themselves. And when they don't keep promises to themselves, I mean, that's a whole other topic. But then you're not going to listen to yourself. And the next time you tell yourself something else, it's going to be like, well, Roman, you said you were going to do this and you didn't. Then you said you were going to do that and you didn't. You said 5 years ago you were going to change, and we're doing the same thing 5 years later. Eventually, it's like having a person you're looking up to and they're always lying to you. But now it's just the person you hang around with all the time.
Mhm.
So what I feel like is that, like, obviously, if you're going to the gym and you have a trainer, you're gonna get your results a lot faster. Everybody's looking for the fast,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
it's still not gonna be as fast as getting your dopamine rush on social media or drinking a beer or planning a Friday night and going out on Friday. It's not going to be that quick. And that's where people get discouraged. They're not used to, it's that word again, the discipline, the long-term vision. They're not used to
I
it, the
love
average
this word.
person.
Yeah.
It's, it took me, from the day that I checked myself into rehab. And I was always like a fit person, and like, I was pretty fit my entire life, but like it took me a year to get to where I am today, mentally, physically, and just in every aspect of my life. And that's me doing it on my own. But
Mhm.
if I would do what I did from 1 year ago to today, now that I know what I did, and I could shorten the process and take away the mistakes and the stuff that didn't work, I'll do it in 2-3 times the speed. Because now, one, the biggest thing is I know it's possible. I have the vision. I know what the outcome looks. So whenever I have like a person that's coming to me, and either he's skinny or he's fat or he's average, and I ask, what do you want? I already see that for them. But they can't see it because they've never been there.
Yeah.
So they could get there a lot faster. That's the thing about a coach. But just going to the gym every single day for 1 month, I think will fascinate a person of just keeping their word, just doing that simple task.
Yeah, and I agree. You going through the steps yourself within that year, you've seen how you changed, and you know exactly what you did in order to get where you are. So with knowing that, you already have that vision for somebody else, because if they're going through the same thing, it will take them usually on average the same amount of time if they were continue doing what another person did, right? And all of the time when we hear people's stories and we see how they overcame something, it's still, I feel like a lot of people don't really believe in achieving that themselves. There is some kind of like disconnect from that person and me. So they don't see that it's pretty much the same thing. We all the same people here, right? Even though we have our unique talents and gifts, but when it comes to habit changing, again, if you just follow this plan step by step, you will get there. And it's just inevitable. Like, you have to accept that as a fact. You know, you're not that much different from another person. If that person did it, you can do it. And that's what I want people to hear, because a lot of time they get discouraged and not giving themselves enough time to see the result, and not believing in themselves truly to know that they are the ones that can change this life for themselves. But again, like listening to your story, we know that it took some time, but we know also that you came to a totally different place. Now you're a different person. And again, like, it's something like it's work in progress. You're still going through your journey. You're still, having those goals set for yourself, and you're going to the right direction now. What's your ultimate goal is, right? So we also need to realize where we are right now, why we're here, right? And why we came to this place. And knowing that, we also need to have that end goal of where we're going. What do I want for myself? And we need to be clear on that. Not just general statement, like being really specific of what you want and seeing it for yourself, achieving that, right? And having that plan in motion and working on that plan every single day, focused without distraction. And again, it's all in our control. But sometimes something gets lost in the way we're doing things, and people just kind of like they don't see that they the one that lost that control. So we need to check in with ourselves every single day. And also I think you also know about the power of being grateful. Like, if we just think about what we have now, right? And kind of say good things about what I have and who I am and what I'm grateful for in my life, right? And realizing that what we have right now is enough. Okay, so sometimes people think like, if only I have this, I will be happy. If only I had this body, or like this, I don't know, car, or this house, right? So even though we want more in our life, and it's good to strive for it, we just need to first accept and be grateful for what we already have in our life. Okay, and this is like a starting point for you to be open to more possibilities that will come to your life. So being grateful for what you have and for what's coming and who you're becoming in the process. And I feel like it also brings you to that high vibration kind of state where you see, something is coming your way. So there is some kind of support that you are receiving without you really doing anything extra, right? But being in that mindset. So again, like, what do you think could be the practices that we bring ourselves
to this high vibrational mindset, every day to feel that desire to move on and, strive for what we're looking for?
Well, for one, it's definitely how we look at everything. For me, like I said, I don't lie to myself. I made sure. This only happened recently. I got a coach about 3 months ago, and I'm learning from him right now. And he's like, don't ever lie to yourself. If you ever say you're gonna do something, don't ever break that word. If once you break that word, your vibration's automatically going down, because there's nothing worse than lying to yourself. Nothing worse. You're stuck with yourself forever. But in regards of gratitude, like I tell people all the time, what time do you normally wake up? Because I start with people like this. What time do you wake up? At 8. We suffer with a time problem. How about you wake up at 5? And they're like, oh, no, I can't do that. 5 is too crazy. I was like, why is 5 too crazy? He's like, I don't know. I've never done it before. So it's not crazy. It's unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I wake up at 5 every morning and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I woke up. I'm grateful my eyes opened. I'm grateful that I have another day. I get to see my kids. I get to breathe. I get to go to school. I get to influence somebody. I get to live. I say, if I would give you $1 million today, would you be happy? And they're like, yes, of course. And I'm like, nobody would make you unhappy probably for a good amount of time, right? If I gave you $1 million. He's like, yes. I was like, all right, what if I gave you 10 million, but tomorrow you can't wake up? No, nobody wants that. So then I asked them, so you waking up in the morning is more value, more important than $10 million. Then why don't we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do that? Why do we say, no, oh, I'm going to have an awful day? You begin your day like this. So I believe it's all a mindset. It's really a flip of a switch. I think it's easier said than done, but it's the simple, like when I coach, I mostly coach guys, so I'm used to saying guys, but when I coach people, I say, a good coach is not somebody that gives you a lot of things to do, because that's very overwhelming. A good coach keeps you from doing the bad things.
Yeah.
That's really all I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to flip the switch in people's heads of like waking up a little bit earlier is not as hard as people make it seem. Like, I love the fact that I could wake up early before everybody else, and I fixed my if I woke up angry, by the time everybody wakes up, I'm happy. Because I fixed myself. By the time everybody wakes up, I've already had a workout. My blood's already pumping. My vibration is higher than everybody else. Everybody's waking up to brush their teeth. I've already made breakfast for the people in my house. You know what I mean? Like, it's a completely different. And when you come with this attitude of just gratitude, of serving people, and just simple steps, like my process is not hard at all. And I share it on social media. If anybody's interested, I post it every single day. Starts at 5 in the morning and the last, I don't know, before 10 a.m. it's already done. And then it's just my daily things that I do. But it's not hard. It's really not hard. And people think that, oh my God, change is so hard. It's not. It's just the unknown territory that you haven't tried yet. And everything that you really want is on the other side of fear.
Yes, definitely. And unknown is something people usually scared of. And again, it's just without them trying and seeing for themselves that how easy that is. maybe, sometimes we need to go through failures, but it's not really a failure, but I think it's just part of the process where, you try, you see how it works, and if something you need to adjust. But again, with you not giving up and continue doing what you want and going to that direction, eventually you will see, opportunity coming your way. And again, like, it will take time and consistency, but it's possible for every one of us, and I strongly believe that. And like you said, waking up in the morning, that small change, and it could affect the day that's going for you, and it could affect the life that you have in a year from today. And those small changes, incremental changes in our daily routine, that's what really creates that structure where we could, see ourselves succeeding. And that's because we design it the way we want. So it has to be designed by us in the first place. Otherwise, we're just going to be lost in doing what other people want us to do, and we have to create those boundaries in our life and know what we should focus on and create that structure to succeed. And I'm so glad we had that conversation. If somebody wants to connect with you, where they can find you?
Easiest place is Instagram, Roman Roumiantsev. Just follow me, throw me a message, and we'll chat. That's it.
All right, that's great. I also put in the description of this episode. Thank you so much, Roman. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I hope you enjoy your day.
It was my pleasure as well, Anna. You have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Stay tuned.